You laughing at me?
Yes, I'm laughing at you.
Why? Huh? I got yellow. Is it green? So we're doing another. You know, we got to do. I like the little thing you put. Oh, for real?
Yes.
So mic check 1 2 3. Mic check 1 2 3. Hi, Flourishers. Welcome back to my channel. This is Anthea Lachey, and I am glad that you are back for this next episode. So listen, before we get started with anything, I want to ask you to subscribe, okay? Put some thumbs up. Comment, because we want to talk to you. We want to hear from you. You know, I would like to get, feedback and just let me know if the content is blessing you. That'll be awesome too. I also want to thank my subscribers. So like I said, go ahead and subscribe, like, comment, and also share, especially if you think it would bless somebody. So peace out. All right, Flourishers. We are back again. And as you can see, I don't have a guest today. I feel a little lonely. I was like, maybe I needed to get me a co-host or something sometimes, because it felt so good to have my homegirl, LaQuisha, here chopping it up with us. Last week we enjoyed ourselves. I hope that that episode, was a blessing to you all, because it definitely blessed me. So yeah. So what y'all think? Y'all think I should have a co-host? Let me know in the chat. Let me know in the comment section if you think I should have a co-host. So as you can see, like I said, I'm here with myself. I'm not gonna say I'm alone again. I'm just here with myself. And this week I was just kind of talking to God, saying, Lord, what should I speak about on today? Like, what should I speak about? I don't know about you, but oftentimes I, reach out to the Lord, especially when He has given me an opportunity to speak to His people. I do not take that lightly at all. I, He tell us to walk out our salvation with trembling and things of that nature. So I don't play when it comes to His children. Just don't do that. I don't know about you, but I don't. So this week I just been kind of meditating and asked God to give me confirmation. He gave me an idea of what I should talk about, but a lot of times when I hear it, I like to submit it back on to Him and just say, Lord, just give me confirmation. And with Him being so good and so great, He did give me confirmation, y'all. And He always give it to me in church. And it don't be a lot of times it could be in the title of the sermon, or it could be a message that was said. Like I was telling y'all last week, we was talking about losing weight. Our bishop inserted a portion about how, the Holy Spirit, without the Holy Spirit, because He's our weight. He keeps us. He grounds us. He's our teacher. He's our comforter. And if we don't have Him, we're nothing, to be honest. So went to church today, and God did it again. He let me know what I'm supposed to speak about today, and He came through with confirmation and things of that nature. So today we're going to talk about beauty. Like, what is the definition of beauty to you? What is the definition, spiritually, um, the world's definition of beauty? Um, so this episode will be called Beauty Defined. Beauty Defined. So let me tell you about my confirmation. Shout out to Minister Ez. He did his thing. He allowed the Lord to use him. Like I said, I bless God. He don't even know that God was using him to even say what he said today. And I'm going to quote him right now. And what stood out to me and what let me know that I'm supposed to be talking about, beauty today, is he said, the shepherd is a artist. When he looks at the clay or the rock, he sees a canvas. Y'all, that is so beautiful to know that when God sees us, he sees a canvas. He sees his masterpiece. He sees things that we don't even see in ourselves. I tell God all the time, thank you for loving me when I ain't love myself. Thank you for keeping me when I wasn't keeping myself. How many of y'all can agree on that? Like thanking God for keeping you and loving you when you didn't even love yourself. Okay. Another thing he said was, in the midst of the rock, in the midst of the clay, there is beauty. There you go, y'all. There is beauty. And when he said that, I said, oh my God, he didn't even know that I was going to come here today on Sunday to talk about beauty defined. Like, God is so good, y'all. And then he said, in the midst of the ashes, there is beauty. I mean, just with that being said, that's beautiful. Because how many of y'all, at one point didn't think that y'all, you know what I'm saying, wasn't beautiful? I mean, I have periods of my life, long stretches of my life where I didn't feel like I was beautiful. It had its phases, its times, and things of that nature. So I said I was going to ask myself a question. The question is, what do I think when I hear the word beauty? I asked y'all the same question too. So as I think about it, you think about it too. What do you think when you hear the word beauty? So for me, when I hear the word beauty, it comes to me in two phases. And I was talking to God about this in the car when he gave me this, you know, this title, Beauty Defined. I was thinking, I was like, okay, is beauty the same as attraction? Um, because that tend to come up to me when I thought about beauty and attraction, because we tend to be attracted to things that we think are gorgeous or beautiful or something that we like. Um, so I was thinking, when it comes to beauty, it's different for me. Like back in the day, um, I use for for a male purpose, like my attraction, like what attracted me to a guy. I always was attracted to a guy, or I felt a guy was beautiful when he had a nice smile. Um, I know last week we were having a conversation, and we was most of the people that are around me, they are married, and so we was talking, and I was asking them like, um, I was asking the ladies about their husbands, like, is your husband, what attracted, did he, what is his thing per se? What is his thing? Is he a teeth person? Um, you know, does he get, do he like somebody that likes to, speak and talk and, what's the word I want to use? Challenge him on his intellect, things of that nature. Now, of course, we're in the office, we're having a good time, and a lot of the women was like, my husband is a leg man, or he likes breast, things of that nature. And men find attraction, and they might think it's beautiful. I don't know, y'all. That's just where I went to it when I was thinking about attraction and beauty and things of that nature. But now that I'm in Christ, the things that I see that is beautiful is, I think it's beautiful when a man worships God. I think it's beautiful when I see him crying and praising. I think it's beautiful when I see couples, um, where a man is taking care of his woman and she is smitten by him. I think that is beautiful. I know most people will probably look at this flower arrangement and say that's beautiful. I do. I feel like that's beautiful as well. The decor, you might say that that's beautiful. But I just think there's levels to beauty and attraction and things of that nature. So that's my spiel. Y'all let me know what y'all think when y'all hear the word beauty. I did look up in the dictionary what does beauty mean in the dictionary. And of course, the dictionary says beauty, it says the dictionary defines beauty as a combination of qualities such as a shape, color, or form that I think it said pleases the aesthetic senses, especially the sight. So basically, like I said, is something that you think, whether it's in a shape, a color, a form, phases, things of that nature, whatever you deem to be beautiful. And then also, when it comes to us as people, um, just in this time, beauty is defined a whole lot different. I know we're in a culture where beauty is having long hair. Back in the day, it was relaxed hair. Beauty was if you was light skinned or Caucasian or mixed or um, some of those avenues, which to me, I've always felt like beauty is in the eyes of the beholder. And what that means is, to me, is that what you deem as beautiful. But just because I may not like something or think it's not beautiful, that doesn't give me the right to discriminate against it. I think that's where a lot of problems come in at, when people discriminate against it because it's something that is not their type or something that they don't see, and that's fine. Like when I was raising my kids, I would always tell them, like, okay, and I used vegetables. A lot of kids don't like vegetables. However, the problem is when you begin to discriminate against the vegetable. You be like, oh, it's ugly. It's shriveled up. You start saying demeaning things, and that's what people tend to do because you don't look like something or sound like somebody or dress a certain way. Like, no, God created us all uniquely different. Like, you are an original. Nobody can ever make you again. Once you leave this earth, there will be no more you. Just like I tell people, I might not be for everybody, but everybody ain't for me, respectfully. Like, I feel like we just take stuff too personal and we go too far. We disrespect people in levels that we shouldn't even be disrespecting people in. If that's just not your type, that's just not your type. But keep it pushing. You ain't got to say nothing negative about it. I just feel like that stuff is not cool. So, the thing about it is, I looked at the Bible because anytime something has ever been told to you that caused you not to deem yourself or to think of yourself as beautiful, that's a lie from the pits of hell. Like, the devil is a liar. When God created you, he said you are good. So I went to the Bible. I picked up a couple of scriptures that was dear to my heart. And one of the ones that I really, really like is charm is deceitful and beauty is fleeting, but a woman who fears the Lord is to be praised. And that's Proverbs 31:30. That resonates in my heart because, as you can see, you know, though God created the earth, there are a lot of beautiful things that are here. And by my understanding, in heaven, it's going to be unimaginable beautiful. You know what I'm saying? I don't think we can just wrap our natural minds around the beauty of heaven, right? But God allows things to come on earth. He created things on earth for us to have a preview of what He deems beautiful. However, um, it seems like the scriptures that I picked and looked at, it seems like beauty, the way God sees beauty, it don't have a lot to do with this. It has a lot to do with what's on the inside. And that resonates with me because I often tell people that, it's not thank God for the use of my body. Thank God, that He's blessed me to be a beautiful woman. Thank God that I can speak. All these things. I have the function and use of my body and my limbs and all these things. But it's the spirit that's going to be loving you or loves you. It's what's on the inside that's showing you the love of God. It's on the inside that's showing you the grace of God, the mercy. Like, it has to come from within first before it can even be put to use or put to action. So I'm gonna read another scripture. It says, "All that God made was and is good, and He is to be praised for His magnificent handiwork." Reference scriptures are Genesis 1:31, Psalms 191, and Ecclesiastes 3:11. The other one is, because mankind was created in God's beautiful image and wonderfully so, He would not allow others to define beauty for us. Reference scriptures is Genesis 1:27, Psalms 129:14, and yeah, like, oftentimes we um, allow people to define us. Um, I'm gonna start because I was told that I tell really good stories, and they really are my testimonies, y'all. I'm just gonna bring you over into my life. Like I told you before in the beginning, the purpose of this channel is to be transparent with you, to be naked, to help people get set free, delivered, just whatever. Because we overcome by the words of our testimony. Okay, so that means that though I went through something, it was never meant for me. It was meant for me to share so that you can get through. So, for you all that don't know, I am an author. Okay, I bless the Lord for it. I remember, and a lot of stuff transpired during the pandemic, so you're probably gonna hear a lot of that earlier on in this podcast or this channel. Yeah, y'all hear me speaking that podcast. I think we should do a podcast too, y'all. But okay, so back to the story. Okay, so around the pandemic, I was working from home. We were working remotely, and I remember looking at it was, a lot of people was doing a lot of social media interviews, things of that nature. And I remember Joy and Leah was doing I think Joy was interviewing Aaliyah, and they were talking about being enough. Um, just, I am enough. And earlier part of that year, God was really dealing with me because I really wasn't feeling like I was enough. But in that moment, I was blessed. God just blessed me because I had a conversation with Him, and I was like, "Oh, God, I would love to, do an interview. I would love to speak on this with somebody about, walking a journey towards being enough, right?" So I didn't say nothing to nobody. And I also said I wanted to become an author. I wanted to write, because if y'all notice, when I in the at the end of the channel, like the end of the episode per se, I normally read something from my journal, something that resonated in my heart at the time. So with that being said, I, just had a silent prayer, and God be answering them silent prayers, y'all. I didn't say nothing to nobody. That was just a conversation with Him and I. And I think it was not long after that, Joy reached out to me and asked me to be a part. And I was elated. I was nervous, but I was elated. I was excited. Um, so wrote my part in the book or whatever. It's a 12-month devotional for women, where I was blessed and it was an honor to write with some amazing women. Um, and prayerfully, at some point, I can get some of them on here and we kind of talk, because they all have their own journeys, their own testimonies that I truly believe that will bless you as well. But we had a book launch, and at the book launch, each of us had to, kind of speak, introduce ourselves, and kind of talk about our chapter, because all of us had chapters. And I was, well, we had months, let me say that. So I was December, so I was the last to get up and speak. But as I was there, y'all, I was just, sitting there listening to the other ladies speak and just get blessed by them and their testimonies. But I also was gleaning the room and just asking the Holy Spirit to lead and guide me as I, sit there to wait on my turn to come. Well, you think you're gonna talk about one thing, but God led me into talking about something else. And I spoke about something that nobody ever knew, okay? And I'm going to speak to you about it. And that is, I didn't find my beauty in um, the normal things that people would find their beauty in. Growing up as a only child, I grew up in a house with a bunch of women. I was loved, still is loved. The women of my life never demeaned me, never talked down to me. They always encouraged me. They always told me that I can be whatever I put my mind to. I was always told that I was beautiful. My mama dressed me well. Um, I would say that society wise, I was a typical, size young lady, didn't deal with weight and things of that nature till I got older, as you heard in the last video. However, I was in a bubble. Um, I was in a bubble because I didn't realize that I did not know love or beauty or anything until I found, till I ain't gonna say till I found Christ, because he found me and he chose me. However, but it was when I said yes, that my eyes were open to everything, right? And that was later on in my years. I mean, I accepted Christ at a very young age. However, I wasn't discipled properly. Um, but at 33 was a year where everything began to unfold, and I began to walk with the Lord, learn, things that I did not know, unlearn some things. And in that time when I spoke, God had me speak about my daughter. If anybody know me, they know my daughter. Um, and she is really my twin. Like, we look a lot alike. And one of the things I had to share with them was, oftentimes people say they want to have children. And don't get me wrong, y'all, children are a blessing. However, it's a matter of if you're prepared. And a lot of times we're not prepared of as a parent. We don't know what type of child God is going to give us. But what I have learned on the journey of raising kids is our children, 9 times out of 10, are a mirror of us, good and bad. Most times, for me, it was they had a lot of characteristic of things that I didn't like about myself. Also, things I didn't like or care too much about their fathers. Um, And that's even a blessing. That's if you change your mindset towards it and realize it's a blessing, it's an opportunity for you to grow and become better. But in this journey, I had a daughter. I got a son and a daughter. My son is the oldest. My baby girl is the youngest. they both, as children, taught me so much. When the Bible say out of the mouth of babes, y'all, that is real. I tell anybody, my kids, um, a lot of times were my accountability because I understood what God was doing in them to break something in me. And that's another thing. If you're not ready to be broken, y'all want to have kids because they cute and all these things, but it's real life that comes behind that. They are going to be a mirror to some things that you may not be ready to deal with. Okay. So I'm just letting you know. But anyway, I didn't know that I needed to be, um, I did not know that I needed to know that I didn't think that I was beautiful. I did not know that because we often say, oh, we love ourselves. But I don't care what nobody else say, but I'm telling you, you don't know love till you know Jesus because he is love. Prior to me knowing Jesus, I was just operating out of generational things, seeing my mom and my grandma and my aunt, seeing them, work and do things. Yes, did I do things like an act of love? Yes, by taking care of them, making sure they're okay, things of that nature. But you cannot love anybody. I told them I wasn't loving my kids because I didn't love myself. I wasn't um doing for my kids because, we'll say because we love them. And y'all probably sitting here like, oh, what's she trying to say? I ain't love my kids. Well, that's between you and Jesus. If he ain't gave you that revelation, that's on you. But that's something that he showed and gave me. So I'm telling you my story. I'm telling you my testimony. What I found is that I did not love my kids until I met Jesus. Okay. Till I knew what love really was. Okay. Because if I had, then I wouldn't have a problem with my daughter. And God used that to show me that I didn't love myself because when I looked at her, I didn't deem her to be beautiful, y'all. And I didn't deem her to be beautiful because she looked just like me. And I had to take that to God. I had to take that to God. I had to be like, Lord, am I a bad person? And like I said, y'all probably sitting there like, oh my God. But I'm just giving you my truth because that's all I know to do. But it's many of y'all that's out there that you don't even care too much for your kids. You got more than one because you don't care too much for the daddy. And you treat one child differently than the other. You need to stop that. You need to look within. You need to gather that together. You need to take it to the Lord and you need to allow him to deal with you because that is not of God. That's not. So I had to take that to God and be like, okay, God, I remember when my son came and told me that my daughter was dealing with something or whatever, and it broke my heart. And I remember talking to one of my friends and I was telling her about it, and it had a lot to do with insecurity. And when she told me, she was like, Shay, you're not going to be able to talk to your daughter and tell her anything until you get yourself together. Because if you tell her something and you're not living it, you're a hypocrite. See, those are the type of friends that I have. Do y'all have friends like that tell you the truth? So I had to get myself together. So once I submitted this thing to the Lord, y'all, I remember the day that I saw myself beautiful. Okay? When I was able to look at my daughter, I remember, because to this day, y'all, she cannot stand to go to the doctor and get shots. I mean, she literally, they even have to lay her down. She just be so nervous. So I remember I had to take her to a doctor's visit and they was prepping her to remove blood from her, doing a labs, and we was in the lab room. So you know how they had the little chair that folds, got the little arm rest, and she had to lay her arm there, and I'm just sitting there watching her and things of that nature. And so that day, and I think she was like in middle school. Yep, she was like in middle school. So she was sitting there and she went and put her arm up. She looking at me like, oh, with tears in her eyes because she's scared. But in that moment, when I looked at her, the Lord said, what do you see? And when I looked at her, y'all, I saw beauty. My baby was beautiful, y'all. And it wasn't until I saw the beauty in her was when I realized that I was beautiful, y'all. Now, I say this to say, yes, that was a moment, but God was, like I told y'all in the beginning, I submitted all that stuff to the Lord. And when I submitted that to the Lord, there was a process to get there for me to not be blind anymore, for me to see the beauty. However, God started dealing with me on the inside. God started showing me, places where I was stripped and robbed of things, where I've allowed um, the people around me to define my beauty. I tell people oftentimes, when I was a size 8, because yes, I used to be that small. I was a size 8. I didn't love myself. I did not love myself, y'all. I did not think I was beautiful because I was too busy trying to be pleasing unto other people. But when God called me and I began to get in his word and gain relationship, there's a difference. There's a difference between religion and relationship. Relationship kills things. Relationships heals things. Relationship covers things. Relationship guards things. So in my relationship with the Father, okay, he showed me in his word, and like some of the words that I gave you earlier, that I am beautiful. I am fearfully and wonderfully made. He chose me, y'all. He chose me. He chose you. That says a lot in itself, okay? And like I said earlier, you might not be for everybody, but everybody ain't for you either, respectfully. So I say to y'all today that stop allowing people to define who you are, because God has already said who you are and what you are. And if you don't know these things, I highly suggest you get in the Word, you get you some scriptures so you can begin to meditate, love on yourselves, um, get healing in that area, because you do deserve to know that you are beautiful. I'm telling you that you are beautiful. You are fearfully, wonderfully made. You are God's masterpiece. You are unique. Okay? I want y'all to know that. So before I end this video, I'm going to pull out my phone and I'm going to read this. This is something God gave me a while back, and I would like to share with you all. It was back in 2021. It was my birthday. And, I was, like I said, I've been on this weight loss journey for a long time. And so that was another portion of me, because being enough and all that, you got to know you enough, but you got to continue to walk in that journey. You got to continue to surround yourself with people that are going to pour into you and not rob you. Like I said the last taping, that bad company corrupts good character. Be mindful who you surround yourself with, because you don't know when you're gonna have bad days, and you do not need nobody speaking things of your life that is not true. Okay, so here we go. So tonight I will leave y'all with this. When I was a size 8, I did not love myself. When I was a size 12, I did not love myself. It was when I got to a size 16 and struggled for years about the frame I was in, comparing myself to the world's view of how I was supposed to look. It was right where I needed to be for Jesus to meet me at the well, to converse with me and tell me that I am enough. No matter how much I have allowed my past hurts and pains to drive my life, yet it was in this body The body I did not like was where I had to learn to love myself. It is in those uncomfortable places where we really can hear from God about the purpose and plans He has for our lives. But the greatest thing about this is once we hear from Him and receive what He has for us on this race we are to run every day, is that we do not have to stay in those places. So I say this to say, it is all about learning how to love yourself first in a place you may not like, or even you may be uncomfortable in that place, but yet you still are open to embrace the change, and that is before you.